Okay. Prophet Robin, I will be coming at you. All righty. Got it all set up here. Got me an auxiliary computer to do this broadcast. So we're going to get it in right now. All right. Okay. We're going to get it in right now. This is Prophet Rawanawabi. Good evening. And today we're going to talk about, I'm going to give commentary on Tone Talks promos, the Davis Dash radio show. This ought to be interesting. David Dash radio show and talks new black wealth data. Very interesting. Now, what I'm basically doing is I'm just giving commentary on some of the content that this very intelligent and astute, erudite scholar of this type of information is bringing forth. But I'm doing it from a Hebrew Israelite world perspective. I like Tone Talks because I'm fascinated by the way that he interprets the data that he and not just his data, but the way that he sees the real condition of our people. The downside is his application, his interpretation of the information of the data. That's the downside of the worldview that he has. However, I really do enjoy the analysis that he gives, and it has really broadened my perspective about things. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. And another thing that we're going to touch on too, when you talk about data, we're going to look at data in the Bible. In specific, Judges chapter 7. Judges chapter 6 is basically what we're going to look at. And we're going to look at some data from the Bible. And we're going to transpose that data onto the data that Tone Talks, Anthony, forget his name now, but Tone Talks channel addresses. So without further ado, let me like get this thing up and running. So, because I have a lot of commentary that I want to unpack, and I want to show you from a numerical, a quantitative standpoint of view of how Deuteronomy 28 affects us fiscally, socially, in so many different facets. It even affects our psychology as Israelites. And we really don't get this thing. We really don't. This is really the missing link of our existence. Okay, so let me get this going here. Just bear with me for a moment. Bear with me. Bear with me. Take it easy. Take it easy, y'all. Take it easy. Take it easy. Okay, we're going to get right into this. Anderson, I think his name is. I should know his name by now. Oh, no, I didn't want this. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, you got that going. Turn the Beats Pill on so you guys can hear. You know, we got to really understand that when the Most High says something, that's what he means. If he said no man is going to deliver you, you're going to be able to see how no man is going to be able to deliver you. Don't think that there's a loophole somewhere. There's none. Stop. There's no loophole for you to escape. Okay? You know, we want loopholes and try to find a little place where we can get it. No, no, no.
Deliver to you something that you guys have never possibly seen before. I'm here in the. Hold on one second. I'm just looking at this YouTube thing and trying to set everything up. But one of the things that came out this past week was the 2016 Federal Reserve data dropped, and everyone from News One to Washington Post ran to the races to say that minorities have more wealth, and none of it was true. I mean, like, let me say it again. Let me say it in another.
I haven't even seen the data. I believe him. He said, "No man shall deliver you." What? Why don't we understand that? If the Most High said, "No man shall deliver you," don't think of anything going up. It's only going to go down. So, you know, just stop with all the number fudging. You know, we're at the bottom. We've been at the bottom. We're going to be at the bottom until we repent. We're never repenting. I want to play that over. See, this is how I hear news. And I transpose it in a practical way. In other words, I overlay it in a practical way based on our biblical and spiritual condition. You know, I don't like hypothesizing and all of this kind of stuff and fantasizing about how great we are as a black people. No, black people have never been great since we've been here. That's why we still at the bottom. We won't repent. We won't repent. That's what's keeping us at the bottom. I'm going to prove this from the Bible because y'all don't believe nothing.
I'm here in the. Hold on one second. I'm just looking at this YouTube thing.
We're pretty much a nation of unbelievers.
Set everything up.
We don't believe nothing but what white mommy and daddy say.
But
and that's our
one
curse.
of the things that came out this past week.
Listen.
2016 Federal Reserve data dropped.
2016 Federal Reserve data dropped. Okay, the 2016 Federal Reserve data, it dropped. Look what he says.
And everyone from News One to Washington Post ran to the races to say that minorities have more wealth, and none of it was true. I mean, like, let me say it again. Let me say it in another way. It was true if you just looked at a piece of the data. And so, like, is it true that minorities are slightly up from 2013, yeah. But it isn't true necessarily across the board for all minorities.
And let me tell you something. This is how the devil plays us as a nation of stupid people. This is how the devil plays us. We'll go out and get more loans. We'll go out and get more loans, buy bigger houses, and then people will factor all of that debt in as us having upward mobility. That's what we happen. And so, and guess what that causes us to do? That causes us to ball out even harder. And we living on credit. We're living on credit in Jesus' name. Okay, that offended you. We living on credit in Yahweh's name. Yeah. You know I'm telling the truth. You got Hebrew Israelites praising Yahweh for being in debt. And they think because they give the Most High a black face, with credit from people with white faces, is better. It's not better, y'all. You're still in debt. The Bible says you're still servant or slave to the lender. I don't know why y'all try to, now we want to spin the Hebrew Israelite doctrine where if you get more debt, you're more blessed. That didn't work when we was worshiping white Jesus. Why is it going to work when we worship the black Messiah? So that's why you will hear me say stuff like this. A lot of Hebrew Israelites have just given white Jesus a black face. That's all they done. It's still the pagan Greco-Roman god Serapis. They just gave him a black face, and they call him sometimes Yahweh because their life don't change no better. Their life is no different. They still living on debt. They still balling out with 20-inch rims, listening to JC and rapping about Yahweh. They rap about Yahweh, and they still in debt. So they just change faces, painted faces, covered the faces of. It's the same thing. We just doing it in reverse. They made the Most High, our enemies made the Most High white, and Hebrew Israelites, for the most part, looking at our lifestyle and the way we think and the way we see the world, even though we know Deuteronomy 28, Isaiah 14, and all the other scriptures, oldies but goodies, guess what? We still Christians. It haven't changed none of our lives. We got just as much. We got just as much. What you call that? Illegitimacy, children out of wedlock, baby mamas. We got more baby mamas than we had when we didn't even know we was Israelites, when we was Christians. So all we've done is basically given white Jesus a black face. And we're now calling him Yahweh based on the way we live in our lives as so-called Hebrew Israelites or Yashraal, however, whatever you want, Eber.
And it isn't true for all classes of minorities. What we saw is that the top part.
Listen.
Can everybody hear?
Listen.
I want to make sure everybody hears.
This is why I like the information.
I think we in here, and then people can please use the chat. Talk to me so I can see what you guys are saying. Because I want to be able to use the chat while we're on air as well, to be able to talk to you back and forth. So this is what I'm saying. They came out, they gave us the data. They said, oh, the middle black family now is worth 16 grand. Now, I'm going to tell you straight that you can't live on $16,000.
Now, that's the first thing. In America, you really can't live on $16,000. Now, I know it's a lot of people, a lot of us that make that. I get that. But America is not made for you. It really isn't. And even if you have a husband and a wife making 16,000, it's still not, you still at the bottom. It's not made for you.
But what I will also say to you is that, in a sense, the reason why they kind of did that is they want to calm us down. They don't want us knowing what I'm telling you guys.
Exactly.
You know, one of the things that I'm trying to do is connect the leading economists to Black America in a way
they want to calm Israel down. They want to calm Israel down. The people that don't know that they're not Israelites, they just want to control them. See, this is why when I listen to this information, I'm just not regurgitating exactly what he says, because I'm an Israelite. I'm an open out the closet Israelite. This guy don't even know he's an Israelite. And if he does, he's hiding it or whatever. He don't care about that. You see?
never seen before. Everybody always says, oh, when is the next Martin Luther King coming? He's not coming. But I'm here. And we here. And we here together.
And I want to tell you something. You don't want another Martin Luther King. One was enough. Let me tell you something. You don't want another Martin Luther King. You're basically telling me you want another civil rights leader to get his tongue blowed out of his mouth. That's what you want, because that's what happened to him. You want another leader that was controlled opposition by our oppressors to lead us again. That's what you're saying you want. I'm not saying that Martin Luther King didn't do anything good. You want another spokesperson for Planned Parenthood in the Black community? That's what you want? Oh, okay. You want another civil rights leader who spawned the likes of Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and all the people, the predecessors of SNCC and many of these so-called Black leaders of the Black Congressional Caucus? We want more leaders like that? We want more desegregation of schools? Oh, we want even less Black businesses? Because that's what Martin Luther King represents. He's the poster child for killing the Black business. He's the poster child, groups like SNCC and all this kind of stuff. That's what we want? Oh, I see. I see. No, y'all, we don't need another Martin Luther King. We don't need another Martin Luther King. Hey, baby, how you doing? Why are you here so early? Where you been? I'm sorry. But anyway, so we don't need another Martin Luther King, y'all. If we get another Martin Luther King, what else we gonna not have? If they go fabricate another Martin Luther King, you know what? We're probably not gonna have any Black men. Just like Martin Luther King was the fulcrum to help get rid of the black businesses. What is the next? It's going to have to be to extinguish so-called black people altogether. We don't need that. We don't need no more black Baptist preachers that worship white Jesus and follow Mahatma Gandhi. We don't need that, y'all. We don't need it. We don't need no black preacher like that no more. But we gluttons for punishment. We are gluttons for punishment. We need to, no, I agree with him. You know, a lot of black people are looking, a lot of Israelites are looking for another Martin Luther King. That's your worst nightmare. You're looking for another controlled opposition, house slave, worshiping a white man. That's what Martin Luther King did. And he worshiped Mahatma Gandhi, and Mahatma Gandhi hated us. He hated Israelites. So we don't need good riddance to Martin Luther King. Let's stop all this foolishness. We still acting like little babies, little nigger slaves.
We're going to get this really going where we actually demand change. I'm going to be working heavily with Dr. Kevin Cosby and Yvette Carnell on something called the Angela Project. The hope is that we start to be able to answer the call. When black people got hookworms in the South, I want to be able to go there and help out with septic tanks. When black people have lead in their water in the Midwest, I want to be able to have a fund where we can go and actually step in.
See, to me, whenever I hear our people talking about helping our people without turning to the Most High, to me, it just have rings of hustle. It just sounds like a hustle. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like another Sally Struthers, Feed the Children that happened in the 80s and 90s, and that whole thing that she was doing in Africa with little kids with flies in their eyes. That whole thing was a hustle. And that's what this sounds like. If we're not turning back to the Most High, and as Israelites, not Baptists, not Pentecostals, not midgets, not it's a hustle, far as I'm concerned. Now we got to trust y'all with all of our money and put all of our hope in you all, and basically treat you as demigods of our society. No, we did. See, he said, now he just got through saying that there's no Martin Luther King coming. But guess what? Everything that he's bringing out here that he's going to do, this Cosby guy and Yvette Carnell are trying to do, guess what? It just sounds like another rendition of Martin Luther King to me. Martin Luther King didn't tell us we was Israelites. They're not telling us we Israelites. So guess what? You just set yourself up for a hustle. And while some people are going to get wells dug and all this kind of stuff, the same kind of stuff they always do with people of color. They go to Africa and dig wells, but they take all the diamonds out of the country. That's all that's going to happen, y'all. So I can't feel this. This is a hustle. Whether it's on purpose or by accident, it's just a hustle, man. I know hustles when I hear them. If we're not turning back to the Most High, it's a hustle. Period. If we're not bringing a solution to how we're going to get all these single women wedded and keep our men out of prison worshiping the Most High, you talking hustle to me. If you ain't gonna come up with a solution for all these unmarried women, singled and with children, on how to get them a mate, you ain't bringing no solution to me. And get them closer to the Most High, you're not bringing a solution to our problem. How you going to bring how you going to bring a solution to our problem when over 600,000 Israelite men are incarcerated in prison in the United States of America? Snakes of America. How? How? And you got all these women. You got all these women competing for a handful of righteous men. Now, most of the men that are not in prison are not even righteous men. Forget about if they know they're Israelite, they're not even righteous. They're not even trying to do the right thing, live by the laws, principles of life. So you got all these women competing for righteous men, and most of our men, 600,000 of our men, are incarcerated in prison. What solution do we have for that problem? Economic empowerment? No. Even though there's a direct correlation between poverty, even though there's a direct correlation between poverty and crime, the reason why we're suffering from both is, guess why? Because our nation are not turning back to the righteous laws of the Most High. That's really what's breeding crime and poverty among Israelites. It's unrighteousness. We don't know how to practice righteousness. We don't know how to live righteously. Now, I know people like Toni Morrison and Yvette Carnell, they like to say, well, it's directly tied to poverty. And while that is true, that's not the source of our poverty. See? That's not the source of our poverty. The source of our poverty is because we are cursed. We won't serve the Most High. We won't do nothing He tell us to do. And we think we know everything because we got a degree.
Water bottles are demand that policy be enacted like quickly. And we don't forget people. Across this country are living the social condition of Black people not having money. And so what I'm feeling right now is, let me explain, is that Black people kind of were celebratory last week. And what they were celebrating was, oh, we have more wealth. Now, all the reports accurately said we didn't gain ground on white folks. But what they inaccurately said is they included wealth data that actually boost the numbers inaccurately. So
this is really interesting what he says. Although the Federal Reserve statistics say that we have now $16,000, which ain't no money, in wealth. Boy, these people know they're demonic. And then they say 12,000 of that 16,000. Guess what that is? A car note. Ooh, a car note, a debt. See, these people are demons. They try to make us feel like we're doing better than we actually doing because the finance companies are giving us loans to buy depreciating assets. And we so silly, we're going to believe it. And that's going to propel us to even go buy more stuff on credit. Woo, these people are demonic. And I'm talking about on both sides, the lenders and the borrowers. They the lenders and we are the borrowers. Just demons. We believe anything they tell us to. It's just sad.
I've been in conversations with the Federal Reserve. These data that they released last week comes out every 3 years. Matt Brunig is going to be my first guest. I want y'all to give me any questions that you have of him. I'm here in the live chat. Please use the live chat to jot down your questions. I'll bring that to him. You'll also be able to call in. But like, one of the things that we first saw is that when you look at the data from 2016, to really contextualize it, you have to look at it against 2013, and you have to go all the way back to 2007. You have to go back to when Obama is elected. And what we saw is that the only Black that did better under Obama is the top 2% of Black Americans. Everyone else did worse.
You heard that? The only people who did good among Black Americans, Israelite Americans, is guess who? The top 2%. The top 2%. That means 98% of us, I'm going to say, I'm not going to even say we stayed the same. It's getting worse for us. Because if the top 2% of us is the only ones that's doing better, could you imagine how better Caucasian, our oppressors are doing? Asians are doing? Vietnamese are doing? Could you imagine? Wow.
Black folk. That's not what they were reporting. In addition, I did a piece with Matt Brunig this weekend. Shout out to him. He put it on his website. It's on my Facebook. And what I showed and what I wanted to do is take his data and contextualize it and add a twist of my own data. And we did. I think it really came out well. It shows you how crazy it is for Black folk to be talking about millions of dollars. In reality, they sold us an idea of meritocracy and wealth that does not exist. Please, you.
And let me say this too, and this is something I really agree with them on. They are using so-called Black celebrity as I would describe it as this in my own words. I would describe it as a psyops program. See, they are always throwing these so-called Black celebrities who are really Israelites. They're always like Mayweather. He's flossing out, balling out, driving this, driving that, got houses here, houses there, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Oprah. And they're using so-called Black celebrity who are really Israelites. They're using that as a psyops to have us run after on a stick. It's not reachable. And what they're doing is taking us further and further away from the Most High, the more we run after a carrot on a stick while they're riding our backs. But we're not smart enough to catch on to that. We're not smart enough to catch on to that because we're not running after the divine nature of the Most High. And when you're not running after the divine nature of the Most High, you're blinded to many things that are right in front of you in plain sight. You can't see, the Bible tells us in Matthew 13:13. You can't see, the Bible says in Matthew, I think 14, 20, let me see. Matthew 14:24, I want to say. You can't see at things right in front of you. The Bible says what it says in 1 Corinthians 13, we see out of a glass darkly. You can't see nothing. Why? Because you're not looking at things with a prophetic eye. You're not looking at things from the word of Yahuwah. The Bible tells us, what's that? Hebrews 4:12. If you had that type of eye, you could pierce through all the haze and see things clearly. We could see this captivity for what it really is, but we can't see it because we ogling at we're staring and mesmerized by Floyd Mayweather and all his bling, the rappers. but Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, we can't see nothing because we like got the hypnotized eyes looking at these people. Oprah Winfrey, Bob Johnson. But I want to hit you with a scripture here. Let's go to, I think, Matthew 14. Let me see, Matthew 14:24, I think. Something like that. Let me see. Oh, Matthew 15. Matthew 15. It says, let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, they shall fall into the ditch. You see? So let's keep going here.
Chat, because I'm reading the chat. I want to engage with you guys. I want to make sure you guys are here and hearing what I'm saying. First thing I'll say to you is, of that $16,000, $12,000 of that is the family car.
You heard that.
$12,000 is a durable, the family car. And understand, a car is not considered a real asset in terms of national accounting, according to Professor Edward Wolf of NYU and a number of others. But they include.
He got receipts, y'all. He got receipts. He's not just making up stuff. This is stuff you can go Google. A car is not, it just, I don't need a whole bunch of receipts to prove that. I've owned enough cars to know that a depreciating asset can't be an asset.
That to make it get to that 16. So 3/4 of that 16 is something that isn't wealth.
Right.
Now we don't even know what out of the 4 that remains, how much of that is the couch, the TV, and your clothes.
Yeah, it's predatory loans. Let's say another 3/4 of what's left of the 4,000. Let's say that's predatory loans. Y'all, we are in bad shape. 3/4 of the stuff that they're saying is wealth for us is a depreciating asset. And then of the 4,000 that's left, guess what? It's predatory loans. I wouldn't be surprised if half or 3/4 is predatory loans. We're at the bottom, y'all. We're struggling. We have a form of wealth and deny the powers of wealth thereof. And I'm going to tell you what denying the power of wealth is. I'm going to define that for you. We have a form of wealth, but deny the power of wealth thereof. The power of wealth is the Most High. What's that Bible? What the Bible said? Deuteronomy 8:18. Let me see. See, don't mess with me. I will cut you. Ooh-wee. Let's go to Deuteronomy 8:18. If I can find it. Deuteronomy 8:18. It says, but thou shalt remember Yahuwah, thy Elohim. Whoa, boy. For it is he that giveth thee power. Oh, see? So when I say we have a form of wealth, but deny the power thereof, I'm talking about the power is the Most High. Why? Deuteronomy 8:18. But thou shalt remember Yahuwah, thy Elohim. For it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth. See, Antonio Morris, he don't even factor the Most High in the retention and accumulation of wealth. He don't even factor him in. That's why he could do a podcast for a half hour, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and never mention the Most High one time. And guess what he talks about more than anything? Wealth. Okay, I'll give it to you again because you don't believe. We are stiff-necked and rebellious and wicked people. I'll read it to you again. But thou shalt remember the Elohim, Yahuwah thy Elohim, for is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, not your covenant, not your wicked, filthy covenant, no, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day. So all this stuff, that's why, see, this has the smell. Everything that Antonio Morris talks about, Yvette Carnell talks about, it got the smell of hustle. Hustle. Because if you're not going to take me back to the Most High, I already know you're running a hustle on me. It's just a little pimp game. That's all it is. A black political power, economic power, what they already said, a black politic body, pimp game. That's all it is. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not really sorry. I'm glad I'm peeping the game. I'm glad I could see through all the haze and smoke and mirrors, and I got the eye of a prophet. Oh, I'm glad I'm not buying no pipe dream.
So that we might be all the way down to 3. But right now, what I'm gonna say to you is $4,000 is what the middle black family is worth. Now, if we look over at the
you heard that, man. You heard that. The middle black family has $3,000. Ooh, in a capitalistic society, the median wealth of the black family, which is 17 million families that are Israelites, is $3,000. The median? $3,000? So you're talking about over half. You're talking about over half of black families are only worth $3,000. We only have $3,000 in wealth. And they say that the Israelite family, where if the head of the household is a woman, guess what it is? $5. The independent black woman, yeah, $5. But she don't need no man. I don't need no man. Oh, okay. It says $5. Ooh. You can't afford to not have a man. You can't afford to not have a man. Soon as our daughters get in high school, we should be hooking them up with a man who is gainfully employed and have some type of skill. I don't care if he working at McDonald's. Anything better than that is gravy. I'm just saying, y'all. I know you think I'm a low achiever. No, the numbers are telling us that it's bad. It is bad for us Israelites. It's bad. The Most High said we was going to be cursed, and these numbers are bearing that out. We're a cursed group of people perpetrating.
At the white side, what I showed in this
report is
that $160,000 was how much the white family was worth with the family car. Without the family,
100. The median Caucasian family, is worth $160,000. And when you take out the car, the furniture, and the Xbox, they worth $140,000. When you do that to us, guess what we worth? $1,500. So from 3,000, if you take out the car and all that, guess what we were? $1,500. Now our median family, which is what comes out to 40, I think it's 20,000 Israelite families are only worth $3,000. The median family, the middle family, y'all, we bad, but their median family is worth 140,000, whereas ours is worth only 3,000 at the max. Yo, we can't compete with these people. I don't know why we keep thinking we can compete with these people. We can't compete with these people, y'all. The people we're trying to compete with, they own all the Federal Reserve banks. All their faces is on the money. They own all the school boards, all of them. Board of Education. They own all the Supreme Courts, all of the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. They own everything. So even if we had the same amount of wealth that they had, on paper, we wouldn't have all the institutions that keep intact the wealth that they have. Those institutions protect the wealth that they have. Even if let me tell you, or show you how bad it is. If all the Caucasian, this is why I'm not really big on no reparation at all. If the 5 richest Caucasian families got more wealth than all Black families combined. You didn't hear me, did you? You didn't hear me, did you? You don't want to hear the truth, do you? You are wicked. That's why you don't want to hear the truth. You are wicked, a wicked person. There are 5 Caucasian families that have more wealth than all Israelite so-called Black families combined. And y'all talking about competing with them? And all the families, and guess what? There are 2 families that are Caucasian, guess what? That have multinational corporations that got more money than all Black families in the United States combined. I don't care how educated you get. I don't care what you invent. I don't care how much money you have, how many TV stations you have. You're never going to be able to compete with, guess what? Just those 2 families. You're never going to be able to compete with those 2 families. And at any time, those 2 families could structure laws and legislation to take even more of your wealth from you. Let me tell you something. I want to tell you how bad a situation we are in, that the Most High has allowed us to get in so we can call out to him, and we too stupid to figure it out. If they gave us reparation and paid us back in money, all the money that they owed us, we'd still be at the bottom. In other words, if all the billionaires in the world emptied their bank accounts and paid us back everything that they owed us in dollars with interest, we would still be at the bottom. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they own the military, the banks, they own everything. The gold mine, the diamond mines, they own everything, baby. And you want to compete with them. See, the devil got you on a fool's errand. If they give you back, y'all, you can't do it. Our problem is way more than a political problem and a way more than a financial problem. And guess what, y'all? I want to tell you how stupid we are. If they gave us all the wealth that they owed us in money, guess what we're going to do with it? Exactly, David. If they gave us back all the money that they owed us, watch this. If they gave us back all the money that they owed us, you know what black people gonna do? We're gonna run straight to their banks. We're gonna run straight to their banks, deposit them in their banks. We're gonna invest in stocks and bonds and keep the oppression going. That's all we know. And then they're gonna pay us in green money with white faces. We're trapped. We're trapped. We're trapped. They got this thing sold up every which way. There's no loophole out of this, baby. We're going to run straight to the bank. We're going to go hire all white construction companies to build businesses for us, brick and mortar businesses for us. We're going to only go to construction companies to get homes, white construction companies to get nice, fabulous homes. They got us, baby. See, we think our problem is just financial. We think our problem is just political. No, it's not. No. We have a spiritual problem. And if we don't turn back to the Most High, our power, there's no way that we could come up with any type of strategy or stratagem to defeat these people without the Most High. It's no way. Thank you, CG. Don't this make sense, CG? If they gave us back, if they paid us in gold, if they paid us all in gold, everything they owed us, where are we going to put the gold? How are we going to protect the gold? We're going to have to hire white people to protect the gold, store the gold. See, we're not thinkers. We're not thinkers. We are consumers and sinners. We're not going to take that money and invest it in our families. We're not going to give the Most High and say, you know what, we're going to build up something for the Most High. We're not going to do that. If they give us any kind of, if they pay us in dollars or gold, guess what we're going to do? We're going to find them to give it back to them so they can protect it and charge us interest on it when we want it back. So, y'all, it's no way to get out of this, y'all. To the Most High enough to even know what to do with anything that they would give us. Anything that they give us, we're going to give it right back to them. Anything. It's like, you know, I got some people in my family that won the lottery. The first thing that they was concerned with is, guess what? Finding somebody, a white institution to give it back to. That was the first thing on the list. That was the first thing on the list, above and beyond even spending something for yourself, was finding what white person we could find or white institution we could find to protect this money. That's number one on the list. Number one on the list. We are wicked. We are wicked. You win the lottery, and the first person you look to give something to is not even the Most High, and you say you're a Christian. You go give it, you go find a demon institution to give it to. You go find a demon financial advisor to tell you where to give it to. Now, y'all, we cannot win. We can't win, y'all. We can't win. We can't win. You win millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, and guess who you awarded to first? The bank. And right away, the president of whatever bank you pick, guess what? He gets a bonus. He has a bonus laid up for him at the end of the year because you won the lottery. Wow. And you so silly and stupid, you don't know nothing. You just, you know, you've been running away from the Most High so long, you don't know what to do with $1 or $1 billion. You don't know. All you know to do, if you get $1, you look for the white man. You get $1 billion, you go look for the white man. That's all you know. And you don't even care. Family car, the white family, the middle white family was 140 grand. That means that across this country, of the 80, 85 million,
45, 42 million are worth more than $140,000. Come on. And where you really start to get the tell is when you start looking at the millionaires. You know, we were sold throughout our lives, whether you're 50, 40, or 30 right now, or even if you're 20, that we have black millionaires. You know, that LeBron James and Jay-Z came from the bottoms, and so can you. You got Jay-Z with the song Family Feud, and he got the religious music in the background to make you feel spiritual so you understand that you got a chance too. What I'm going to Exactly, CG. And see, this is why, see, when we look at our social capital, we never factor in the list of bullet points that you just put up here. You just posted. We don't factor in food markets, water that we own, tributaries, clothing, home building, energy company. We don't factor in anything. All we factor in is the liquid capital that we have in our bank accounts. But when Caucasian people think in terms of wealth, they're thinking about all those things. These are the things that keeps their wealth sustainable. But see, Israelite, we just want to walk around with money in a bag like Mayweather's and what's his name, 50 Cent. We just want to walk around with a wad of money, and we think that that's what wealth is. That's not how wealth looks. Wealth looks like military, Navy, Air Force, Marines, nuclear bombs. Oh yeah, atomic bombs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. That's what wealth look like to white folk. And all our other enemies we got. That's what wealth looks like. Federal Reserve banks, IMF, that's what wealth look like. Financial hitmen, that's what, but we think wealth is just a stack of 100s or a check with 9 zeros behind it. That's what we think wealth is. That, y'all, please. That's why we still at the bottom. That's called bottom feeder thinking. You notice that whenever Mayweather goes to get his money counted at the bank, he's always on the other side of the glass. You notice that, right? All that money he got, and guess where he's at? On the other side of the glass.
And guess who's counting his money? The enemy is on the other side. A real thick glass counting his money. But that's what we call balling out. See, show me your water company. Show me your military. Show me your Army, your Air Force, Navy, Marine. Show me the Most High killing off your enemies. Now that's wealth to me. That's what wealth looks like to me. When the Most High just come in and just kill off your enemies. Forget about the money, the gold, the silver, the diamond. He just come in and wipe them out. And then blesses you. That's what wealth looks like to me. That's real social capital.
The data don't reflect that. What the data shows is that white America has locked up wealth. Not just Donald Trump, not just the top 1%, the top 15 to 20% of white America has locked up wealth. What the data actually shows is that
and I want our minds to transcend wealth even beyond what Antonio Morris is talking about. Because if you only look at it from this paradigm, you can get really hopeless, because I'll give it to you again. Deuteronomy 8:18. Just in case you forgot. But thou shalt remember Yahuwah thy Elohim, for it's he that giveth thee power to get wealth. He gives you power to get wealth. So Caucasian people can't really lock up wealth. They can't lock up wealth. We lock up wealth by forgetting the Most High, our power. That's the source of our wealth lock. I'll read it again because you don't believe me. But thou shalt remember the Elohim, thy Yahuwah thy Elohim, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant. Not contract, covenant. When you have a covenant with somebody, even if you don't fulfill your part of the covenant, guess what? They're going to fulfill their part of the covenant. The covenant is still on. When you have a contract, if somebody breaks the contract, it's over. So it's not, a covenant is not really technically a contract. There's a vast difference between a contract and a covenant. And I hope you understand that. So he wants to establish not a contract with us, but a covenant. He's telling us right here, this is going to be fulfilled. Even if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, I'm going to fulfill this with somebody. I'm going to hold up my end of this bargain, of this conditional bargain, a covenant, which he swore unto our fathers. That lets you know he's going to uphold it. He said he swore, as it is written this day. Okay. So Antonio, with the worldview, Antonio Morris, with the worldview he has, he believes that white people or our oppressors are the real reason why wealth is locked up. And from the perspective that he comes from, it is partially true, but there's an overriding reason of why there's a wealth lock. And that's because the Most High has put a curse on us, because we are not remembering him and the covenant that we made with him.
Now in this country today, there are approximately about 20 million families. That's what when you consider a family.
Okay, 20 million. Now listen to this number. You want to write this down. 20 million families. Watch this. There are 20 million Israelite families. Watch this.
In a household, there's about 20 million families. Of the 20 million black families in this country today, 380,000 are worth $1 million. That's it.
So you got 380,000 black families that's worth $1 million. Only, that's all you got. You only got, now I know that sounds like a lot. You got 380,000 black families that's worth $1 million.
A single million. Understand
a single.
That if we contextualize that so you can see, like, white folk, of the 85 million white folk.
Listen now.
I'm sorry, of the 85 million white families. A full 13 million are worth more than a single $1 million. In fact,
now you heard that? Did you hear that? Yo, you can't. The Most High put us in a position where we can't compete with them. And the only way that we can compete with them is if we turn back to the Most High. That's why I love the story about Gideon so much. Over there in Judges chapter 6. I love that story. And I see why Deborah was a prophetess. I see why Deborah was a prophetess over a nation of men. I see why, because they were scary, just like Gideon was. Most High had to keep giving signs to Gideon that he was going to be with him, that he was talking to him, and all this kind of stuff. You got Israelites today that say that the Most High is not talking to nobody. Well, that's what Gideon believed too. That's why he needed so many different signs. I don't know why we think that the Most High is not speaking to his people today. He ain't speaking to nobody. I see why Deborah was a judge and prophetess in Israel, because the men were cowards. Look at the relationship that Deborah had with Barakah. Barakah didn't even want to go fight without Deborah. Now you know that's pathetic. And this guy is a warrior, and he didn't want to go fight without a woman. He just had to see a woman there. Now, I know a lot of women like to jump on and say that Deborah was a warrior. Nah, she wasn't really a warrior. She was an administrator and an advisor. That's what she was. The Most High created women to be a helpmeet. And as a prophetess and as a judge, that's what she was to the nation. That woman wasn't no warrior. Now, I would say she had a lot more guts than Barakah, but that's not saying much, seeing that the men were weak. Look at Gideon. You got Deborah over there in Judges chapter 5, I believe. Judges chapter 5, 4 and 5. And then in Judges chapter 6, you have Gideon, the story of Gideon. The Most High had to confirm to Gideon that he was a mighty man of valor. He had to confirm that to the brother. He didn't even believe he was a mighty man of valor. You don't see him having, and he was a judge. You don't see him, the Most High, talking this way to Deborah. The men had got real weak and dainty. But I like the story of Gideon because he started out with 32,000 soldiers. He started out with 32,000 soldiers. And the Most High said, it's too many of y'all. It's too many of y'all. You got too many cowards with you. That's basically what he said. So the Most High said, tell all the ones that are cowards to go home. You know how many went home? Now, he started out with 32,000. Guess how many went home? 22,000 went home. So when you talk about two-thirds of the men went home. Two-thirds of the men went home, were cowards. And they were Israelites. They were cowards. No wonder Deborah was a prophetess and judge and was begged by a military general to go into a battle. 22,000 of the soldiers were cowards. And then so Gideon ended up with 10,000 soldiers. And the Most High said, it's still too many. It's still too many. They ain't about that life. They are not about that life. When you go to the brook, whoever gets on their knees and lap up the water like a dog, send them home. Guess how many was left, y'all? Guess how many was left? Can you guess? 300. You know what? So of the 32,000 he started out with, 0.9735. No. Yeah, 0.9735 were real warriors. You know, that's less than 1%, y'all. That's a little less than 1%. So when people talk about two-thirds of the guys that were in Gideon's army were cowards. And then the other third, almost a third, y'all. So 99%, oh, good grief, this is ugly. 99%, over 99, 99.1% of the men in Israel, Most High can't even use you. People talk about two-thirds. See, I like real numbers. Solid data. I told you I was going to bring data into this conversation. Didn't I? Didn't I tell you that? Didn't I say I was going to transpose or overlay my data with Antonio Morris's data? Didn't I tell you that? Well, I'm doing it right now. And now you're upset because you know deep down in your heart that you're not no 1%er. You're not, no, it's not even 1%. It's 0.9735%. Let me see. I did the numbers. 0.375%. 0.9375% is 300 men out of 32,000. Most of us ain't gonna make it to the battle, baby. We're not gonna fight for the Most High. We're not. We're cowards. We're not gonna make it. We're gonna be doing the same things that they was teaching us in Christian church. We're gonna run our homes in the same way. And let me tell you something, a lot of our homes gonna be broken up. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you are a 1%er, you're gonna be doing some stuff that everybody else ain't doing. It's gonna get rough. The waters are gonna get choppy. You ain't gonna make it, baby. You're not gonna make it. The 1%ers are gonna be guys that think outside the box. The movie 300 is based off the story of Gideon over in Judges chapter 6. Yeah, most of us not gonna make it. Most of us not gonna make it. Most of us, and 300 is so small. 300 is such a small number. You can live your whole life and not even run into another person that's a 1%er. You won't even meet them. You don't be looking for no 1%ers. I'm not looking for no 1%er. You know what I'm doing? I'm looking to be a 1%er. I'm not, whatever. If I run into one, that's cool. If I don't, hey, that's cool too. That's why the divine nature is so important. Having the character of the Most High is so important. And you know what? If you're a 1%er, the 99%, guess what? They're not going to even understand you. They're not going to understand you. They're not going to agree with you. They're going to say what you're doing is of the devil. They're going to say that you're breaking the statutes, laws, and commandments and Torah. They're going to say all kind of stuff. You can't listen to them. They're cowards and demons given to appetite on your knees in the middle of a war, lapping dog water up like a dog. We don't even know what protocol is in certain situations. We better get it together. Like you're not in no war. You're just gonna get down like a dog. You came to see or hear anything. Walking around with earphones on your ears all day.
In fact, almost 900,000 are worth more than $12 million. Understand that when you say Stanford, Harvard, I want a $750,000 house, I want to start that business, I want to own a Chick-fil-A, you're basically saying that you want to be one of them people in the $12 million when we don't have nobody in the $12 million. We have a nominal amount of people up there.
And look at all the things he just named, y'all. I want to go back a little bit because I was talking. Looking at now, these are the type of things that he is thinking about. These are the type of things that he thinks about.
Understand that when you say Stanford, Harvard, I want a $750,000 house, I want to start that business, I want to own a Chick-fil-A, you're basically saying that you want to be one of them people in the $12 million when we don't have nobody in the $12 million. We have a nominal amount of people up there.
Let me tell you something. If you got a black person, if you got an Israelite who has $12 million, it's not doing his people no good. If you know an Israelite with $12 million, it's doing white people way more good and benefit than it's doing black people. Let me tell you something. When a black person when an Israelite has 20 million, $14 million, they putting all kind of white children through school. Why? Because that money is where? It's in banks. And who is able to get, who are they authorizing to get loans from banks? White people. They get loans to put their children through school. They're making money off your $20 million and able to put their children, their nieces, and all this stuff through school. And you're looking at your people like, well, they too dumb anyway. So you just keep your money in the bank, which benefits the enemy. So they got you coming and going, y'all. I don't even think we should be trying to compete with them on those in those terms. We should just be trying to repent, confess our sins, grow our families. Grow our families and teach them righteousness. Not just grow families so you have a whole bunch of wicked people in your family. No, grow your family so they can have the divine nature and the character of the Most High. That's the best thing you could do with millions of dollars. And then when the children get old enough, have resources, property, set up like in a trust, a personal trust that you dole out long after you're deceased to keep your progeny and your clan and turn it into a tribe, a nation, and yes, a kingdom, a dynasty. But we don't think of that. When we get money, we go right to the bank. Right to the bank, and they get a bonus whenever we make big deposits, like $1 million, $7 million, $14, $20 million, $13 million. That's all they do, y'all.
And this comes due to a lack of bad politics, of racism, of segregation, of systemic racism, of lies, of a whole lot.
Let me say something about bad politics. Bad politics is whenever you don't include the Most High as the chief executive officer of your people. That's how I define a so-called black politic body. If the Most High is not in it, ordering, directing the work with apostles, prophets, pastors, teachers, and evangelists that are born again, it's of the devil. It's just a pimp game y'all running, a hustle. That's all it is, man. Let's be real. And don't bring to me another Martin Luther King, please. That's another little hustle. Everybody looking for another Martin Luther King. Please, you better pray the Most High that the Most High don't allow for another Martin Luther King.
Misconstrued ideas about what wealth means. Everybody's dreaming and ain't nobody counting. And I'm here to do the counting. Put a calculator out, as Byron Allen.
And a calculator is not going to save you either. Well, I was going to say something. And it's really interesting. He mentioned dream, because that's exactly what Martin Luther had, a dream. And that dream was really a nightmare for us.
And when you pull this calculator out, when you go and look at my report that I just put out, you can go check it out on your web. You can go check it out on my Facebook. You can check it out on Matt Brunick's website as well. And what you find is that there's a large glut of white folk that have a lot of money. And there aren't really any black people that have any money. And the few black people that have some money have all of it. The other thing I showed in this.
Let me say this. That's kind of true, but it's kind of false. This is a good piece of data right here. He just spit out.
Of segregation, of systemic racism, of lies, of a whole lot of misconstrued ideas about what wealth means. Everybody's dreaming and ain't nobody counting. And I'm here to do the counting. Put a calculator out, as Byron Allen said. And when you pull this calculator out, when you go and look at my report that I just put out, you can go check it out on your web. You can go check it out on my Facebook. You can check it out on Matt Brunick's website as well. And what you find is that there's a large glut of white folk that have a lot of money.
Now watch this.
There aren't really any black people that have any money. And the few black people that have some money have all of it. The other thing I showed in this.
Now, he said a few black people that have money, the few Israelites that have money, he said they have all of it. And that's pretty accurate, because he's about to spit some real tight data out, which is beautiful. But the way, like I said, the way he interprets this data is totally off. He interprets this data in such a way that it will keep us in perpetual curses under the Most High. That's how bad this worldview he has is. He might have the best of intentions possible, but I really don't care how good his intentions are if it still got me in slavery. And the fact that you are Israelite, it even compounds the problem. So I really got to look at you sideways. Now, when he says that there's a small percentage that have this wealth, in a way, that's not true, because guess what? The only thing that Israelites have been educated to do with real liquid wealth is give it to white people. So it's in your name, but it's not in your power to even hold on to it, because you don't have no military. You don't have no real justice system to protect it. The Most High is not even on your side to even help you keep it. So do you have the wealth? Yeah, it's on the ledger of a bank account that you got a bank account with some money in it. But guess what? You really don't even have control of it. I mean, look at the lady, I can't remember her name, who did the Matrix movie. How were they able to steal her movie from her? Because they got a whole power structure set up that enables them to be able to steal stuff, make money, get sex changes, become world famous before they even have to give her money back. So you can even have intellectual property. And guess what? You can have intellectual property, inventions, all kinds of stuff, patents and all. And they have the legal apparatus set up and the legal apparatus and legal matrix set up where it would take you at least 15 years, 20 years to even get your money back. Even if you are successful in suing them. By that time, you know how much money they have made off your money? In 20 years before they have to pay you back? And it's a multi-billion-dollar franchise. Come on, y'all. This is just monkey business, y'all. Listen.
I want you to understand, and please
listen.
Use the comment section. I'm gonna engage you as you ask questions. If you have any questions, ask me there. What you have to understand is the top 20% of Black families.
Top 20%.
So again, there's about 20 million families. The top 20%, top 3 to 4 million Black families, they have 95% of all the Black, the small.
You heard that. So out of 20 million Israelite families, what he said, the top what percent? No. Nobody's listening. Let me play that over.
20 million families, the top 20%, top 3 to 4 million Black families.
Okay.
They have 95%.
You got 20 million families. The top 20% of Israelite families in America, they own 95% of the wealth. You heard that. Listen to me. Listen to me. You have 20 million Israelite families in the United States, or Black, so-called Black families in the United States. 20% of that 20 million comes out to about 3 or 4 million Black families, Israelite families. And guess how much wealth they have? They have 95% of the wealth of all Black families. %20 of them have 95% of the Black wealth. So the other 80% are fighting with 5% of the wealth. Y'all, we cannot compete with Caucasian people. Because when I look at numbers like that, that let me know that Deuteronomy 28, that just confirms what I've already known, that Deuteronomy 28 is for real. You can't compete with these people on capitalism. Capitalism is a wicked, evil, demonic system. And this data that I'm sharing with you brings it out. You got 20 million Israelite families, so-called Black families. 20% of those 3 to 4 million have all 95% of the wealth of the entire population of Black families. Black families, not individuals. I said families. And you're gonna try to compete with the people that created that system for us? You can't, you know? It's like running on a treadmill. You're not going nowhere. That's your curse from the Most High. And we trying to break the curse by political activism and black politics body and economic empowerment and black power. There's no way you can break that with the stop. And then guess what? We trying to do break all these curses without the Most High. There's no way. It's a fool's errand.
The small amount of black wealth, 95%. The rest of us are all living on crumbs. And they all almost are boomers, older. I don't think we understand that we went to school and we did.
And look at this, y'all. Most of the people who have the 20%, guess what? Most of those are baby boomers. They're not even young people. They're baby boomers. Bob Johnson's age, my parents' age. And you know they don't know what to do with no money because they're not even connected to the Most High. You don't know what to do with money when you're not connected with the Most High. You don't even know what to do with your life when you're connected to the Most High. You don't know what to do with a wife when you're not connected to the Most High. You don't know what to do with yourself when you're not connected. You don't know what nothing. You're stupid.
Get nothing for it. I don't think we understand what I'm about to cover on this Dash Radio show. Not just today, but going forward. The movement is real, and I want you to be part of that movement. But to be part of that movement, you can't. This is the hustle here. See, this sounds like the pitch, the sales pitch here. This is the hard sell here. You got to be a part of the movement. You got to be a part of Tone Talks. You got to be part of Breaking Brown. I have a dream. I'm just waiting for that, you know. Come in here with no urban life. You can't come in here with no aspiration about what you're gonna be that don't make sense. You're gonna have to come in here with an open mind and a willingness to. See that? Open mind. That means just let me control your mind. Understand that Black America is locked out in a way that they never told you. I don't care about no Jay-Z or no LeBron James. Right. I agree with that. I got this question from Eric Glenn right now, where he said, where do we start? You start with understanding we never really had money here. This whole idea of the solution presumes that race is operating in a way it's not supposed to operate. Today, we have 500,000 Black men incarcerated. To contextualize that, there are countries with billions of people, with a billion people that don't have. Listen to this. China and India got over 1 billion people in their country. In Africa, almost 1 billion people. And guess what? They don't have 500,000. None of those countries have 500,000 people in prison. None of them. Not one of those countries have 500,000 people in prison. But in America, we got over 600,000 Israelites in prison. Over 600,000 in America. And it is a fraction of the size of Africa, India, and China. They hate you. Don't tell me that Caucasians don't hate us. We could look at the prison industrial complex and prove that. These people are demons. They hate us. They tell you they hate you. No, they love us. It's the love of Jesus. I don't want to hear nothing about no love of Jesus. Love of Jesus was got us into this mess. Love of Jesus. Love of Jesus. Soon as we find the guy who invented Jesus, we need to kill him. 500,000 incarcerated. We presume that this is something that needs to be solved by the system, rather than the system created this loophole as part of the solution for the overall system.
Exactly.
These black men's lives create jobs that keep the system breathing.
Exactly.
I don't think we understand or really want to deal with race, with slavery, with incarceration, with blackness. We had a new article come out by a black woman just a few days ago on Madam Nowhere. I told everybody on my Facebook, you can go read it, where she basically said she wants to call black men terrorists. So on Monday, you marching with Black Lives Matter, and on Wednesday, you call it black men terrorists because of an individual experience, and we okay with that. We can't be okay with that. You know, you can go read that full article, but basically it's her dealing with some individual black guy who basically tried to holler at her, and they didn't get along too well. But to take that and rationalize calling black men terrorists, showing a sense of insanity in where we're going. You know, Dash Radio, Dash Talk, we're gonna be talking about it all. You know, this wealth data came out. Don't believe the hype. Black people are not doing better. Black people are struggling right now.
You know what? I don't care what data they come out and trying to hype us up into believing something. I would never believe it. I would never believe any data that they said that would show us in a favorable light. I would look at it as another psyop scheme. I'm intelligent enough. Uh-oh. Brushing my teeth. Okay. I just realized that my camera was off. Okay.
And part of the solution will be an understanding of how much we're struggling. Part of the solution will be for us to engage some of the leading economists, to demand policy, such as what we saw from Yvette Carnell when she got on Twitter, and we used this power to make sure that local.
Now he said demand policy. I'm going to show you what my policy is. I will show you my policy. Let's go to Judges chapter 6. I'm tired of policy, black politic body, and you know. I'm not. Let me tell you something. I'm not against a politic body. I don't like black. I want an Israelite politic body that acknowledges the Most High. That's why I'm against a black politic body. Black is just dog whistle for we're not going to include the Most High. So since from a historical context, whenever we say black, we always are talking about white Jesus. I don't like using it. I really don't. Listen to this. So if we're going to have a politic body in captivity, it's going to have to be an Israelite politic body. And don't think that I'm just engaging in wordplay. Don't think that, okay? Listen to me. Judges chapter 6, verse 1 and 2. Look, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahuwah, and the Elohim delivered them into the hands of the Medians 7 years. So 7 means completely. We were completely in subjugation to them for years. That's just another way of saying there's no way you can get out of the hands of the Medians within those years that you're in their captivity. No way. Black politic body, Israelite politic body, whatever. And the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel, and because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them the dens which are in the mountains and caves and strongholds. So sometimes we like to say that Israelites never lived in caves. Well, I already read to you in Judges chapter 6, verse 2, that we did live in caves. We lived in caves. Just want to let you know that it's in the Bible. I didn't make it up. And the reason why we were confined to caves is because guess what? We were in the hands of our enemies, and it was nothing we could do to redeem ourselves. So we ran to the caves, and we became cavemen. Cavemen.
Legislator would stop talking about DACA and start talking about hookworms that are affecting her constituency, which was 75% African American. So I want you guys to be part of this movement. I want you guys to be part of it.
And I want to say this, because what all he's doing right here is giving his heart sale. But my thing is, my concern is this. The reason why we are at the bottom is not because of a politic body, whether it's Israelite or whatever you want to call it. We're not at the bottom because we didn't have we're at the bottom because what? The children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahuwah. And I'll tell you one of the evil things that we do: worship white people, worship white dreams. We want to live in their neighborhoods. First, when a black person get money, the first thing they're gonna do is go find some white people to live next to. That's the first thing what black people are gonna do if they get any money. They're gonna find some white people. This is some white people over there. Well, let's move over there. That's what they're gonna do. What school do they send their children to? Well, we're gonna send our children there. We're not gonna be looking for the Most High. We're going to be looking for white people if we get any money. When Israelites get money, they always look for white people. They're going to look for white people in a number of ways. They're going to look for their banks because they don't trust nobody in their family. They don't even trust themselves with their own money. So they're going to find a white person to give it to, a white bank. They're going to look for a white school, a white neighborhood. That's what we're going to do. That's all we know. We're not going to look for the Most High and ask him for nothing. No advice, no guidance. We're not going to fast. We're going to overeat, surf it, drink, get drunk. That's what we're going to do if we get any money. Any advantage we get, we're going to be looking for some white people. Now, we're going to want to ball out as a black person, but we're going to be really, in our hearts, we're going to be looking for black stuff, white people.
Tone Talks Radio Show. I want you guys to be there as we grow, because it's going to grow. And I want you to be able to tell your friends, I was the first to be part of that movement. And I really could, hope that.
You can't make movement, y'all, without the Most High. Listen to me. You can't move in the Ruach without the Most High. The only Ruach you can move in is the spirit of the devil. That's all you can. That's the only movement you're going to be able to build and make. See, this is his hard sell. This is the same type of rhetoric that Martin Luther King was pushing.
As we move this along, we start to see a dialogue amongst African Americans that we haven't seen in a generation. A dialogue about.
I don't want to see no more dialogue, y'all. I want to see some deliverance. Enough talking. We love to talk.
Dialogue about wealth and a dialogue about relationship building. Because I plan on making us whole again. I just wanted to come to you today on Sunday.
It just sounds arrogant. He plans. He said, I plan on making us whole again. You're not the reason why we're not unwhole. It's not about you, Tone. It's not about you, Tony. The only person that can make us whole, like the Bible says in Ezekiel chapter 37, he said, you're going to take two sticks and make them one whole. You can't do it with all this kind of stuff that you're trying to do.
To you a bit. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And I think somebody just talked about an investment club. I don't think you understand how much wealth we have. You need to go read the report. Again, when you got $4,000 as a family, that means that you don't have money to invest. You're trying to survive. I think that right now, what has happened?
Yeah, investment clubs. If you get a whole bunch of Israelites together to have an investment club, guess what we're going to put the money, y'all? We're going to put it in the bank. Y'all, we trapped, y'all. You stop trying to do this stuff without the Most High. You're going to have an investment club. We're going to have a black bank. Investment club and a black bank is the same thing to me. It's the same thing. It's basically saying, you know, we want to give our money to white people. Let's give our lives to the Most High. And you don't really have to worry about how to spend money, because your life is going to be in his hand and your mind is going to be in his hand. But we don't want to do that. That's dangerous, because we think the only safest place to put any wealth. The Bible says where your treasures are, there where your heart be also. And our hearts are with our enemies right now. That's why we put all our money in their banks. We rather put our money in their banks than in the lives of our own children. That's how wicked and evil and simpish we are. But anyway, this is Prophet Raw, and I will be. I'm signing out. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. Give me a thumbs up if you haven't already. Share this on your social media. I appreciate it if you do. I'm giving a rare perspective from an Israelite standpoint of view. I'm not just regurgitating what Antonio Morris is saying, Yvette Carnell. No, I'm giving y'all a prophetic insight with scriptures about what this stuff that they're saying. This stuff that they're really teaching is really dangerous for us as Israelites. It's just dangerous, you know? But anyway, I'm going to get out of here, and you all have a wonderful night. Oh, wow, I'm out of here early tonight. That's good. But you all take it easy, and it was a blessing being with you all. And shalom.